Okay, welcome to my, I'm gonna call it my weekly vault of inspiration. In my never-ending attempt of getting better at making films, making photos, I take a lot of inspiration from loads of different places. A couple of weeks ago, I shared my obsession with vintage Patagonia catalogs. Today, I want to share with you a few more things that are currently fueling my creativity. We've got 3 on the list that I want to share today. Number 1 is legendary photographers that I've been covering on Instagram the last week or so. Number 2 is a Wild West novel that has got me dreaming about writing my own script. And number 3 is Mission Impossible. Just hear me out. Yeah, first up, we've got photographers. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I started this series where every week I'm breaking down a photographer that is inspiring me. Week 1 was Glenn Denny and his climbing photography in Yosemite during the golden age in the 60s. Then we looked at Camille Seaman and her project on storm clouds in tornado country. She also spent years photographing glaciers in the Arctic Circle. And most recently, Mary Ellen Mark, arguably one of the best ever to immerse herself in a world and document that. Her Streetwise series documented kids living on the streets in the 80s in Seattle. I mentioned in my video that she even goes back and documents this one woman's life called Tiny, literally over decades. And digging into all these photographers has been massively inspiring. Like just seeing how they observed the world, how they frame their subjects, how they went about capturing these specific topics over years. And what has been amazing, people have been messaging to like kind of give me recommendations of other photographers to look at. This one guy messaged me and he gave me a bunch of photographers that supposedly influenced Mary Ellen Mark's work. Next up is a book called Lonesome Dove. I'm hooked. I freaking love this book. It basically follows a group of cowboys on a cattle drive from a dusty little town in Texas all the way up to Montana. And it sounds simple, but the characters in this book are so well written. Like it's such an interesting pacing as well as you follow these characters through this world. And somewhere between growing up, watching Westerns, playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption, and reading this book, I've developed this like kind of mini obsession with the Wild West and that setting for stories. And it's definitely one of my dreams to write a Western one day, to make a Western, which is a pretty lofty dream. But when we were in Namibia recently, the landscapes there honestly felt straight out of a Western. I think I love that world as a setting for stories because it strips everything back and becomes very human when you put characters in that environment. If you're also into that kind of visual language, then I would highly recommend checking out Mark Majori's paintings. He creates these like insane Western paintings. It's awesome. And one day I want a print of one of his paintings. And finally, Mission Impossible. Naomi and I have been working our way through this series. She hadn't seen any of them and I wanted to watch them all again before we went to see the new one. On the surface, they're big action movies about spies. But when you step back and you look at the direction, the stunts, consistency over 30 years of making these movies, it's kind of mind-blowing. And watching them all back to back has been fascinating because you can see how they experimented with tone, storytelling, with visuals, as well as having Tom Cruise in the middle of it all, just risking his life for the craziest stunts you will ever see. And having worked in film production, I have such a deep appreciation when you watch something like this to understand how they pulled that off. And I have a few friends who worked on the last 2 films, and some of the stories are crazy. The time, the effort, the stress, everything that went into making these films, it's impressive. It just reminds me why I love cinema. It reminds me of why I want to keep making things, why I'm in this creative world in the first place. So yeah, Mission Impossible, guys, it's inspiring. Go find the biggest screen you can and watch the new one, because we need to go to the cinemas. We need to support the movies in the cinemas. Go to your local cinemas. So that is my creative vault this week. That's where I'm getting my inspiration from creatively. All of these, the photographers, the book I'm reading, the films, they all feed into how I'm thinking about my own work. They remind me of why I'm doing this and where I want to go with it. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you want to keep following this creative journey. I'm learning how to make better photos. I'm learning how to make better videos, tell stories, and I'm sharing the process as I go. The more I make, the more I learn, and hopefully the better I get. Also follow From the Lodge for daily updates and regular videos, my photography series, my brand series, travel videos, and I will see you in the next video.